But someone I want to move on to who just switched teams, and that's Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo signed a 3-year deal worth in excess of about $67 million with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, for Vegas, it's an adequate replacement for Derek Carr. Is Jimmy G as good as Derek Carr? No, he's not. Not even close. And I saw a stat where Jimmy G in the last 3 seasons has like 4 deep touchdown passes. Carr has over 20. Like, it's not even close. Carr's clearly a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. Here's my thoughts on it, because you guys know I used to once be a Jimmy G fan. And then as time went on, you had the injuries. You had him consistently underperforming in the playoffs. Not just underperforming, having some bad, I mean horrible playoff outings. You think about the Super Bowl against Kansas City. He was terrible in the fourth quarter. Had a passer rating like in the 20s. So he's had some stinkers. I'm not going to put up Jimmy G's playoff stat line right now. But for Vegas, we know that briefly, at least, they were in the running for Aaron Rodgers before they reportedly pulled out. And we see, obviously, it seems to be either Packers or Jets for Aaron. There was rumors about a possible, them going after Lamar, possibly. Obviously, that's off the table now that they've signed Jimmy G. Look, you guys know what I think about Jimmy G. I think he's in that discussion. He's what I call a low-end starter and a high-end backup. If you put Jimmy Garoppolo in a situation like San Francisco, which has probably the best roster in the NFL, with the second, in my view, the second best offensive coach in the NFL, and Kyle Shanahan, second to me only to Andy Reid, with one of the best running games, with Deebo Samuel, and with George Kittle, that offensive line, which, by the way, lost some pieces, but is still good, with Christian McCaffrey, yeah, I would hope he's successful. Now he's in Vegas. Now he's in a division with the best quarterback on earth, Patrick Mahomes, with one of, I think, the 5 or 6 best quarterbacks on earth, Justin Herbert. And I don't think, listen, you guys know I stole my stock on Russell Wilson in October. He's going to have a better year now that he has Sean Payton. Sean Payton made Taysom Hill, look like a serviceable quarterback. I'm sure he can do that with Russell Wilson if Russell is willing to be coached by Sean Payton. And Denver's making some moves in the offseason. Yes, he has Josh Jacobs, and he has Devontae Adams, and Hunter Renfrow, and Darren Waller. Here's the problem. Or here's the problems, plural. Josh McDaniels is his head coach. Josh McDaniels has been an NFL head coach 3 seasons, 2 with the Denver Broncos back in the early 2010s, last year with the Vegas Raiders after getting hired from the New England Patriots. He has yet to have a winning season. And if there's anybody in the NFL, I always criticize, probably my biggest criticism of head coaches of the league is when they don't make adjustments at halftime. And nobody, it's not even arguable, no coach in the NFL was worse at that than Josh McDaniels. The Raiders blew, I think it was 5 double-digit leads, which I'm not sure it had ever been done in NFL history. I remember they blew a double-digit lead to Arizona, to Kansas City, to Jacksonville. I mean, they had some games you're like, wow, this is unbelievable. Not to mention, in the last 9 years, which is when Derek Carr was there, they never had a defense in the top 20. For years we've lamented, hey, the 1 year Aaron Rodgers had a top 10 defense, he won the Super Bowl. Yet Derek Carr never even had a top 20 defense. And so you get a less talented quarterback, a less mobile quarterback with less of an arm, who has to play with the lead. Not to mention Darren Waller, and I love Darren Waller. Congrats to him. I saw he got married to Kelsey Plum, the Las Vegas Aces. Congrats to them. But Darren Waller struggles to stay healthy. Okay. Hunter Renfrow is an excellent slot receiver, but he struggled to stay healthy a year ago. Josh Jacobs is a running back. The Raiders have had a pretty successful running game, but that means nothing if you're trailing a lot of points, which they did last year. And as for Devontae Adams, check his social media. He's disgruntled, we'll put it that way, with the Raiders acquiring Derek Carr. Because if you remember, he joined Vegas to play the Raiders acquiring Jimmy Garoppolo, rather. Because he joined the Raiders to play with Derek Carr, who was his former college teammate at Fresno State. And then they move on, and he's like, okay, let's see what happens. There's rumors about Tom Brady possibly going to Vegas before he retired. And then the Aaron Rodgers rumors started, and they end up with Jimmy G and Devontae Adams. It's like I keep downgrading at quarterback every year. I go from Rodgers to Carr to Jimmy G. It was not a good investment going to Vegas, Devontae. I hate to tell you. But I don't see how this works into even a playoff appearance. This feels like a 6 to 8 win team. 9 wins feels generous. Because they had 6 last year with Derek Carr, and it feels like they had a lot of those seasons. They had some 7 and 9 years, some 8 and 8 years, made the playoffs twice, but that was with, especially in 2021, Derek literally putting the Raiders on his back, carrying them to the playoffs with all the organizational chaos they had a couple of years ago. But you've got a bad defense, a tight end, superstar tight end, but he can't stay healthy in a brutal division with an unproven NFL head coach. What is there to like? Is he better than Jarrett Stidham? Sure he is. But that's not saying much. Jarrett Stidham is a backup quarterback in the NFL. Solid backup, but he's a backup. So, man, I don't get this one. Like, as far as if the Raiders are trying to build towards relevance, not sure this puts them that much closer. Again, Jimmy G, low-end starter, high-end backup. How much better did that Niners offense look? And again, I hated that Jimmy G went down. Knock on wood for him that doesn't happen, although that's kind of been his history. Literally, look at Jimmy G's history. Every other year he gets hurt. 2016, he got hurt in the second game when he was replacing Tom Brady, when Brady got the ridiculous 4-game suspension for Deflategate. 2018, Jimmy G tore his ACL. 2020, he dealt with a plethora of injuries. I'm not sure. He probably started 6-7 games or so. And then last year, 2022, he broke his foot. So I hate that Jimmy G gets hurt, but it's his reality. And again, when Jimmy Garoppolo went down, Brock Purdy stepped in. How much better did that Niners offense look? I mean, I nicknamed him Sturdy Purdy, Sturdy Brock Purdy. He looked good, okay? They were pushing the ball down the field. They allowed him to be mobile, allowed him to use his legs. I mean, that's what he's a low-end starter, high-end backup. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube. Be sure to click that big red subscribe button and go check out the other clips and full shows of Carving It Up Live. Have a blessed day.